maybe a fairly short call unless you guys have a lot of things to talk about. Hopefully you do. We don't have a lot on the agenda primarily because we're just super prepping for next week where we have a series of announcements surrounding the Solid conference and some things that you guys may have already heard of having joined these calls. The bulk of it is going to be around the marketplace for apps and devices from third parties. So, if you develop a app and want to share it with other people, that'll be something that is available. Device types that get added in and shared. We're just trying to get more rigor around the process for sharing, the documentation, of course, and just the whole infrastructure for being able to do that. We've done a lot of work on the IDE with GitHub integration recently, and we, hoping to have all this stuff sort of come together for the events next week, which will actually be, I think, Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So you'll be hearing more announcements then. Are any of you guys on the West Coast? No? All right. Todd's not joined. He's normally good for that. Like I mentioned, Ermin and the rest of the Minneapolis office, so most of our developers are having connectivity issues at the moment and are trying to get on. So it's just me running this today. The thing that I'm most able to talk about, I don't know how interesting it is to you, but is the community site. We have chosen to go forward with the product discourse. It can be previewed and checked out at community.smartthings.com. This will ultimately be a replacement for build.smartthings.com, and we're hoping that it will encompass more than just makers and developers. Probably just enthusiasts and other people who want to ask questions, but hopefully it'll still accommodate the makers and developers just as well, if not better than Build has. It won't have as many spam issues and connection issues, etc. So if you haven't made your way over there, feel free to do that. We are hoping to launch that fully by end of next week. That's aggressive. We're doing some content migration and user migration at the right now. We are going to implement like an ability for anyone to log in via their Facebook or Twitter accounts, their GitHub account, but also if they want to, their SmartThings account. And we're trying to migrate everyone over who has a build account over onto the new site, so that at least their preferred username can be retained with the email address that they are registered with on Build. So, anyone have any questions about the new community site? You guys are all so quiet today. It's like I almost feel like I'm on mute. All right. Well, feel free, if you can't talk, you can use the chat things to ask questions, and I will try to look at that. Hey, Cade, I see you now at the with the video. All right. What else do we got? So there was supposed to be some more labs announcements today. I wanted to get into some device stuff, but I don't think that we're releasing anything into labs this week. I think that there will be some next week. I think NetAtmo is one such device that we're hoping to get in place. The other one being Minimote. I think that Minimote is from Aeon. It has like multiple buttons on it. And we're hoping to. Oh, go ahead.
Is that the first one, the weather station?
Yeah, that weather station one is one of the ones that we're hoping to release this week, but it looks like next week perhaps. Ermin, internet working for now. All right. I see another question here. Documentation update. Yes. So we had really wanted to, by last week, have the documentation more publicly available, with the number of. So part of the problem is when you have your developers on the hook for certain parts of the documentation and they're working like vigorously to get some things done for a big announcement, it sort of falls by the wayside. But we're putting a fork in it on Friday, not a literal fork as in GitHub or whatever. I guess that would be a figurative fork as well. But anyways, we are putting the documents out there next week, and we're hoping, because they'll be readily available on GitHub and elsewhere, that people will do pull requests and make changes if they see gaps and things like that. Kevin, it sounds like you are on. I am going to mute you really quickly. Feel free, mute yourself, and then you can just hit spacebar to unmute yourself. So good. So that's the documentation update that I can give you. We are planning on using Read the Docs to host the documentation at, and then it'll be in a repository on GitHub, as I mentioned. So if you're not familiar with Read the Docs, I'll just post a little link to that in there. It's fairly good. We actually have our eyes set on another platform for documentation that perhaps is a bit more extensible and allows a few more things, like some greater nesting of content. But I think this will work for the time being, and then we will continue to improve the documentation as we go. I think that the gaps that exist currently, a lot of them will be filled, and so we'll look to you guys to sort of identify the remaining gaps. All right. So no questions on. Oh, so any other questions on documentation or community sites? All right. Then I'm trying to think. Ermin, if you have the ability to talk there, do you have any update on the device audit you were working with?
Yes. So, hold on. I guess not. To update, as in, we haven't really taken anything from that list. Like I mentioned last week, it was just about identifying gaps in the platform, not necessarily singular devices.
Right. And so, have you found that people are submitting things and you're adding to it? Is that how it's working?
Well, right now the list is only that thread, and it looks like it's died down for the last few weeks. But
I'm gonna make it. I made it sticky, I guess, or someone did. We should continue to try to push for that and find the things that people would find useful but are not currently in existence. Did anyone? Are you extending it outside of devices, or should we? I mean, I guess it would be a different thread, but I mean, there are certain functionalities that I think people would want as well. I think that'll be a good thing for the new forum to have in place. There's features that are missing or warranted or wanted.
Yeah, so the new forum should have voting.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself. It'll have there is ability to like things on the new forum. Strictly speaking, there's not upvoting best answer or whatever else, and I've talked to the developers about that. They seem to think that they kind of want to keep their forum more pure, and they don't want it to become like a question and answer system. But I think we'll work on them and identify some place where we can have, okay, here's a list of features, and let us know if you also want this feature. Some sites like Revolve do it on a separate site, like a user voice site, and so we could look at using Zendesk for explicit voting like that as well, although that's not ideal.
I think it should all be in the same place.
Well, are you going to start developing in Ruby and Rails for that then?
Like voting? I don't know. You chose the platform.
Yeah.
Does the community thing you chose not have voting in it or polls?
It has polls, but it doesn't have, like, strictly speaking, like, upvote these ideas. So there's a specific way that I would like feature voting to be, and it doesn't support that, and it's not on their roadmap. Stop sassing me.
Fantastic.
I did post that in there, Kevin, the Gap forum. So please feel free to go into that, and if there's any devices that you'd like to see us include, even like maybe not even specific devices, but like just whole areas that we're missing, like pool control. We have nothing to control pool yet. Wackford's not on, but I know he's working on something. What else? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I know I've kind of gone through much of the stuff that we've had. I feel like there's still a few new announcements and things that we could make. We'll be making next week. I think stay tuned to that. What else do people want to talk about? Like, throw out some topics or questions that people have. How have things been going with Smart Things? Subdued Wednesday, I guess.
Question. I've been having a problem with, I have 3 GE outlets hooked up, controlling 3 different outdoor lights. I have them all set to go on at sundown. And what I'm finding is that one goes on at sundown, the other 2 are staggered about 10 minutes behind. Is there a reason for that happening?
Which app?
Let me see what I'm using this in.
What time zone are the other 2 switches in?
They're all set up for Eastern time zone.
I was kidding.
I have them all set up in the iOS app, and they're all set for sundown. And they're exactly the same GE outdoor outlet.
And you're using just like the dashboard, or like a Hello Home phrase?
Set up in the dashboard. All 3 were set up in the dashboard.
Cool. That sucks.
I don't know why. For some reason, one set of landscape lights come on exactly at sundown every day. The porch light comes on about 10 minutes later, and then the third set of outdoor lights comes on about the same time as the porch light, about 10 minutes staggered.
And have you put anything through to support yet?
Not yet. I just noticed it started happening this week. I don't know how long it's been happening, but
try like they're all individually configured to do it, not
yes.
on a phrase. Try sending them out on a Hello Home phrase instead.
Okay.
That way, because at least that way we can check the logs and see if the commands themselves were staggered, if they were held up at the hub level, when they were all sent down. But I think there could be some latency problems if they're all individually configured to do the same thing. It's a good one. Yeah, try Hello Home phrase, and then if that doesn't work, then take it to support.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Did I hear someone else join? Matt, perhaps? Oh, maybe it was just Berman. Just Berman. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, just hanging out.
You better have joined just in time to add about 30 minutes of discussion because we are running light. What's going on in the Zigbee and firmware world?
Oh, there's so much. I can go on for forever. We do have another release that's coming out that adds a few more sockets. I don't know where it's at in the QA process. It also makes kind of a lightweight version of sockets, so if you don't have something big like large XML or HTTP payloads, you just want to leave like a server connection open all the time, that should support that. I would expect that to come out in the next computers.
So that would be a new firmware update on the hub?
Yep, it should be a new main processor on the hub.
All right.
In the Zigbee world, I think we have some other updates that should better support a few clusters, and there's like a bunch of devices that are coming out now that do things in a very specific way that this new fix should create any of the connections that we've covered in the past.
Did anyone get that?
It was breaking up a little bit at the end.
I've just been talking in chop.
It's because you don't have a mic on those headphones. You're using your computer mic.
I know, it's a sad world. There's a new Zigbee that should come out probably a month from now that will try to alleviate some of the HA1.2 new devices. I know there's some people that have installed stuff before, but you actually have a device type for it, and it's been kind of chaotic on our system as a result. So there is an update that should make everything go a lot smoother and support more HA1.2 devices.
All right. Kevin's got a question around the Windows desktop app or browser support. Yeah. So were you on last time, Kevin, when we discussed that? Because there is some work going on with some partners on a Windows desktop experience, and also one that could translate ultimately to a Windows mobile. Although right now we're focused on tablet.
Ben doing office hours from?
No, he's doing it from the beanbag room.
Oh, it looks like it's from his bedroom.
That is his bedroom. His wife kicked him out. You guys want to see this cube that we just made? It's got a multi inside of it. It's like for throwing. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the what sorts of things we're working on. I mean, everyone here is like working on a bunch of different things to get ready for the Solid announcement. We're releasing a new version of the mobile apps. Android is getting like super close to like being like pushing at the same time as iOS, which is very interesting that they've caught up. And so outside of that, next week, we'll, like I mentioned at the start of the thing, more ways in which you can all create smart apps and devices and share them with the community right from inside the IDE and that sort of thing. What other topics do people want to talk about?
Kevin, you look super familiar, actually. I think I saw you on, was it Home Server Show?
That would be me, and I fixed my audio problems. So yes, I'm a part-time job as a podcaster for Home Tech and Home Server Show and a variety of other things.
I knew you looked familiar. I was like, where do I know him? Where do I know him from?
Well, I think Kevin's also joined this call before.
I've been on a few times. I've missed a few, but I do have another question, and I'll post a link to it. I've been playing around, and it's kind of tough to ask you guys to support things that are no longer manufactured, but Wayne Dalton, the garage door guys, have kind of a cool box that is a HomeLink to Z-Wave bridge. And there's a couple applications where it would be nice to trigger things just from HomeLink buttons in a car. I can't seem to find any other products like that. Have you guys seen anything that would link up HomeLink to Z-Wave, or is that not been explored?
I don't think I've ever seen anything. I don't even know Wayne Dalton made it. Well, I doubt. I doubt they make it. I wonder who actually makes it. But I actually think Intermatic might make the Wayne Dalton stuff. We can look at it. What, like, is HomeLink like big anymore?
Yeah, every car still comes with it. It is kind of a step backwards in a way from the point of view that you should be able to trigger everything from phone or proximity. Um, I just find occasionally it's kind of that my wife is used to pushing a button on the visor of the car, and if I could get the same functions to come through that way, it would be kind of an interesting.
It's worth exploring. I'm sure if you took it to the community, a lot of people can work on stuff there, especially because that's something like that. It's not something that we could spend internal development time on, but it doesn't mean anyone else couldn't.
Yeah, no, I'll post it up there, and I think it's SmartThings does see the box as a Z-Wave remote, so I think I'm close. I just need a couple of pointers. So I'll post
Well,
it up in the community.
that's good then. That means the hardest part's done. Now it's just about formatting and stuff. Cool. Post it up there. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Dave's asking a question about the mobile apps running in landscape mode. I think there hasn't been any specific work done in either of the Android or the iOS app to accommodate different landscape modes. I think when we do the landscape mode, we're going to want to like really take a thoughtful approach to that and present something different, not just like a reconfig, not just like taking the devices and like changing them around where they are. Like I like how when certain apps give you like a different context when you like do it. I think that's probably more akin to what we're doing, and I think some of the mobile or the Windows mobile stuff that we're working on will inform some of that, but we haven't put a lot of we have put no development resources to landscape mode yet. We have done some design thinking around that. Berman says that the Wayne Dalton stuff looks cool. It looks like. All right. What else?
I'm gonna go get a beer, so I'll be back in like 5 seconds.
Hey, turn the camera towards Scott.
Scott's gone.
Oh, sad.
Got Adam.
Adam's good. Well, I mean,
Landshark wants to talk on here anyway.
he totally wants to, as he just leaves the room. Yeah, I mean, I think like at this point, I really wanted to have, to do the preview of the documentation. I wanted to do, a few other things. I think by the time our next call rolls around, the week after next, there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about and stuff to show. Maybe we'll have one of the Android mobile devs on to discuss their progress, as we had one of the iOS guys earlier. So, I mean, I would say, as always, feel free to ask questions. If you want to comment on the blog, you can comment on the blog as to what you'd like us to discuss as well, and we can make sure to put that together.
I have a question about labs and just stuff in general, because like right now, let's say I wanted to set up a something where if there's a flood under my sink, I want the siren to go off, a particular siren to go off, and maybe have a couple of my lights flash or change color if it's a hue bulb. I have to set up multiple apps to take advantage of that. Sonos, if I wanted to add that in, so that's like 3 or 4 apps now just to get a simple notification where I don't, or just a bunch of different Sonos or Hue apps for different Hue features or Sonos features. What are in the future? Are they going to combine a lot of that stuff so that if you are on the dashboard, you can take advantage? I understand this stuff's labs right now, so I'm not. But are they going to be combined rather than continuing to push out features as new apps rather than new features to an app?
So just so I make sure I'm following, have you been going through dashboard to set up a number of those things? Like as far as like, for example, we just rolled out, despite me thinking it was out weeks ago, we just rolled out the like danger and damage uh, dashboard change where you can like fire a siren when a moisture sensor is wet.
Yes. Yeah.
But you're just thinking like, all right, that's good. But then if I also want to fire at that same time multiple other actions, that it's just not as easy right now.
Well,
Like, yep.
it's easy enough. I mean, but the point is you have to do it in multiple applications. So if I also wanted to flash my lights red for danger or something, I'd have to go to the Hue app and do all that stuff. Or just if I didn't have Hue bulbs and I wanted to just flash a light using a standard dimmer or on-off switch from GE or another Z-Wave appliance, I'd have to use another app rather than just say, not only am I turning on the siren, but I also want to flash this. How many times do you want to flash? All that stuff. More like if this then that type functionality rather than a couple of different apps to accomplish a simple notification.
Right. I don't think you were on last call when I sort of gave a preview of the rule builder. It's not something that we've released yet. It's not even like available to labs or whatever else, but there is a rule builder that we're working on that sort of is like an Uber dashboard that sort of can span across like a bunch of different triggers and actions and options, and you can do both ands and ors, I believe, although don't quote me on that. The UI of it is not ready yet. Someone like you could probably use it and make do, and it would be useful for your scenarios. But if we roll that out, even though it's still going to be like a pretty advanced feature, we need it to work a little bit better to be a little less confusing. I think it's going to be able to resolve some of the more advanced scenarios that you're talking about. Because you remember, like our main like difficulty is like we're trying to bring like home automation type things and scenarios to the masses. And most people aren't going to need to have like this and this and this and this. They're going to want just a few basic things like notify me when this happens. Anything that we add to like the basic setup just adds like more chance for confusion for those folks. So we're trying our best to use sort of like an onion skin approach where you can like at first blush it looks fairly easy. You can peel back a layer and get a little bit more, and then ultimately you can get in and like do some things deeper.
Like an advanced button on any software where it has like simple setup and then you hit advanced and it gives you more options type thing. But I was just thinking, I mean, that seems like a simple, something simple that someone would want, just visual notifications over, push notification and a siren, which quite frankly, if it's your basement, you might want a siren, but if it's just like, in your bathroom, which is probably not as big a concern, you probably don't want something so intrusive maybe. And then also, the and stuff sounds good or because I was thinking right now you can build your own app to do it, but if you if I come home right now, the sensor is if I use my phone, it senses a pretty big distance right now before I even get in my building. It says I'm home. And if I use one of the tags, that's still a couple hundred feet, for notification. So, if I wanted to set a Sonos to say like "Welcome home" or something, it might be done with the song by the time I get out of my car, get up the elevator to my place. Whereas it would be nice to be able to say, all right, when this comes home. Or when this mobile phone or tag is quote unquote home, once the front door opens, it has just arrived. Once front door opens, or once something happens, if you have a routine, you can set up. Once I get in and turn on this light, whatever the case may be, then welcome me home or something like that. Which is not really a serious issue, but just something cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I totally get that. I think many of these systems, like as soon as you want to do something like just a little bit like different than like the happy path, it kind of gets much more complex and hard. You probably used IFT, and IFT is basically just this, then this. There's no like ands or whatever else, and there's a reason they did that. It's far simpler to do what they're doing. So I think that's coming. I think like we do like the idea of ad hoc rules that you can kind of set up like that, but we just have to get the UI a little bit better before we can release it even to developers.
Because I think at the end of the day, if you look at the smartphone business or just electronics in general, it really is the gimmicky bullshit that attracts people to new gadgets, and not really like the conveniences. Because SmartThings is super convenient and you can automate your home. I think most people just, if they're not ready for that yet, or so what, I can turn on my lights from my phone type of thing. But that gimmicky stuff with Sonos welcome you home or playing music and you make a video of that, that's the stuff that's that quote unquote wow factor stuff that I think the general public they're excited by, that futuristic feeling stuff, rather than automated lights and stuff like that, which people, because I tell people all the time, like, well, you can do this, and they're like, oh wow, that's really great, and they just never get to the point where they actually go out and do it, even though it's really super cheap, $100 for the hub, and you can build on things as you need, $50 at a time, really. That's pretty inexpensive. But it's when they see the stupid stuff that I have, that's when they get more excited by it. Not by the conveniences that they may add to their life, but by the stupid things they don't need that they'll add to their life. And I find that people, that's what they get more excited about for some reason, rather than like, hey, when you wake up, your coffee's made. They're like, cool. I mean, people have had timers for years for that kind of stuff. It's just together on your smartphone.
No, I agree. That's kind of why we point out things like the Bartendro, which is makes drinks for you from SmartThings and whatnot. But they do capture people's imaginations, even though it might not be practical for them to have drink making robots that cost $300 in their house.
It's the non-practical stuff that captures their imagination. It's true.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it sounds that's something that we will do, and I'll put you on the early access list for the rule builder.
I realized by your reaction that wasn't really a question. It was more of a statement.
No, yeah, I got that. Let's see. What else has been happening here recently? So, all right, here's some news. You probably already saw it, but we are opening West Coast office. We're going to be basically able to interact with device manufacturers out there much more easily, and in addition, sort of do some business development efforts with bigger companies. The Logitechs and these other companies that we're working with are all based out there. Hired bigwig from Google to run that operation, so she's going to be great. I'm looking forward to hanging out with her next week when we go out there for Solid.
So it's not Larry?
Not Larry, although I think Sergey or Larry basically made overtures to not for her not to leave, but she left anyways to join us. So that's pretty awesome.
Despite them having Nest.
Yeah, I would have expected that to be something. Who knows? I'm interested in some of the new things coming out. I saw Belkin had some announcements this week with I didn't read through them much, but there was that Crock-Pot announcement that I've seen actually for a while, and Todd would be thrilled with that.
I don't know why they're doing an object like that. I think they kind of went the Nest route. They're like, let's take something that nobody is doing just so that we don't have competition.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Nest has crazy competition now on the thermostat front. The second that came out, everyone was doing connected thermostats. So I'm waiting for the next stream of smoke detectors that will get your family murdered because you accidentally wave the smoke away.
Well, there are a number of smoke detectors out that are coming out now as well. None of them have the wave feature that I know of. And actually, I mean, quite honestly, the wave feature is why I bought a Protect, and I
It's the
plan
one
on
feature
sending
I
it
love
back. Yeah, I mean, like 20 times out of 21. Oh no, maybe 99 times out of 100, when my smoke detector goes off, it's because I'm cooking something. My dogs freaking hate the alarm, so if I can wave my arm and do it, that all the better. But really, the wave only worked like 60% of the time, anyways, and so it was very
I was going to
frustrating.
say the probably 100%, right? Because you haven't had your home burned down yet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So 100% of the time, it's not a fire so far. But yeah, I just blow really hard at my. I don't even get up on a ladder or anything. I just like take a deep breath and just blow on it for like a minute until it stops. But
I had mine go off the other day, and I tried to pull it off of the wall, and it ended up being a wired one. It was like it was going on forever. It was going on forever.
Because I'm in a
freaking
building,
roof.
so they're
Yeah,
connected
so am
as
I.
well. Yeah.
So I was
Which
like,
the
holy shit!
I would get a Nest. I would get the connected Nest anyway, just so you don't have to worry about the battery. But what you have to replace this every 7 years, the Nest ones?
I heard. So the funny thing is didn't Adam Ehrman have a Nest that's basically worthless now because he didn't connect the wire that he needed to, or he didn't have the wire that he needed to, like, sort of keep it charged, and it basically, the battery went out in like less than 2 years, and it's basically not replaceable. He's got like a $300 paperweight.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you should ask him about it.
Wait, the thermostat, it lasted 2 years without a charge?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe he had it for less time than that, but it was not charging properly, and it's dead now. And like I think Nest has told him that it's sort of.
I had a problem.
Yeah.
I had a problem with mine a while ago, and I think I called Nest on it because they basically said, like, I don't remember if it was a green wire or whatever, but they were like, I said something about this is the charge wire, like it's not going to charge, or it's not charging right now. And the person said something like, don't worry about it. It also charges through some other wire. I've since connected that wire back anyway, just because it stopped having whatever problem it was having. I forget what I don't remember what problem. I think it was just randomly turning on the heat, like, and blasting it, and then I would hit off, and it would say it's off, but it would be running still, and the place would reach like 90 degrees. I'd come back, and it'd be everything in my house would be melting. My dog was dying. It was awful. But yeah, the guy said it would continue charging even through just like the normal currents of the standard, air conditioning heating wires.
Yeah, I think Adam's problem was he didn't have the RC line, which is what people usually draw power off of. So he didn't have that, and he just ended up dying.
Right. So Doug, you said that the First Alert Z Smoke and Z Combo from Lowe's work well?
Yeah, both of them, they both seem to work pretty well. Haven't had any issue with them, and they join right off the bat, out of the box.
Yeah, Iris stuff tends to work really well with smart things. The Z-Wave stuff, at least.
What do those run, Doug? Are those like $75?
No, they're like 24 and 34.
Wow.
Or something like that.
Yeah, the Iris stuff is...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Actually, I have stuff right here. I have a couple of these that I haven't installed yet, but this is the Iris. This is the Iris one. This is a dimmer, so I think they charge $40 for it. The on-off is like $35, and if you go online, you can get the dimmers for like $35. And it's the same GE standard one, but it's just Iris branding.
Score. They're blue, right? Yeah, I bought a few of those the other day.
Yeah.
When we were setting up the office in San Francisco. Bought a few of those at Lowe's. Ben, when are you moving? When are you moving? Do you have a place yet?
I am not moving until there's a proper office at the very earliest.
Oh, and he learns how to cook so he doesn't sit off his smoke detector all the time.
Yeah. Berman, when are you moving? Both Ben and Doug are moving.
You're not going to get people to move just by bothering them.
Watch me.
He's got me to do a lot of things just by bothering me.
Yeah, I've been surprised at what he's been able to do just by bothering people. So
Yeah, that's right.
hashtag #M-.
I'm a pro. Ooh.
So how many of you are moving out to California site?
From people who don't live there, just 3: me, Doug, and Ben.
There's a few other people who are out on the West Coast that are going to spend a lot of time there. Both Jeff, the CTO, and Dan, who leads up some of the business development efforts up until now, or the device connectivity efforts. And Ermin's moving out there. So, I think he's going to be heavily involved in a lot of this device connectivity stuff. Are you still keeping the title Hackaneer, even though after you got a promotion?
Yeah. There's a new title, but I'm not going to use it. I'm still going to go by Hackaneer.
Is it Chief Hackaneer now?
It's top
Principal
dog.
Hackaneer.
It's top dog Hackaneer.
Hey, I'd like to see if you're going to be talking to Logitech, see if you can get them to open up the Harmony Hub for SmartThings. That'd be
we are working with them on that already.
All right, that drives me crazy that I can't connect that hub to. That would make so many things convenient. That'd be crazy.
Herman, you know more about that.
Yeah, I think last I heard, actually, they pushed it out quite some time, like a few months. So
Really? Because they were gung ho for a while. Like a couple months ago, they was all over that.
They would sell so many of those instantly if they opened up an API for people to be able to use their. I mean, you can control so many things with the IR right now.
yeah, that's pretty cool. We have a few of them here. They look cool.
They even
have
look cool.
They have neat packaging too.
They have very
Thanks,
nice.
dude. Cade, your house is a freaking mess, bro.
This is my office. But yeah, this is actually I'm cleaning right now because I have a 3D printer that's coming that's gonna go here.
Which one?
The RigidBot.
Nice. We have a MakerBot, and it's printing right now, actually. And for once, the prints actually look really good.
It needs a lot of love. Like we've just found that thing needs like a lot of calibration and
Yeah, a lot of love. And then I had a broken part. I had to contact their support for a broken part. To get the actual part I needed took a long time. They sent me 6 parts total. 5 of them were the wrong part, but they kept on sending the exact same part. I was like, no, that's not what I needed. Like, oh, okay, sorry, I thought you needed this one. They send it again. I'm like, that's not what I needed. They sent me like 3 cables of the same cable, but that's funny.
Why did you go with Rigid, Cade?
Because I never 3D printed before, and it was not that expensive, and the parts seemed to be really good, and it was from someone who's been involved with 3D printing and other stuff a lot, so I trusted it. And it seemed like it wasn't expensive, but by the time I upgraded everything, I still spent like $1,000 something. But
Right.
it was still, I mean, it's still way below. That's still way below.
Yeah.
I picked up a 3D printer on Kickstarter for like $200.
Yeah, this was like a $300 one that just kept adding money to all the different stuff.
Model Price is going to sell one.
I wanted something I can kind of learn on and not care too much about before I invest.
Maybe break it.
Like, before I invest like $150 in an object or something.
Yeah.
$150,000.
Now that you already spent $1,000.
I'm going to be living in a refrigerator box with $150,000.
It's going to be a nice refrigerator box, though.
And a nagging wife.
Yeah.
Rex.
It's going to be a legit ass.
I want to get into the lasers now, laser cutting and laser etching. Those machines are pretty inexpensive too. They're like $2,000 from that. I'm blocking on the name of the company, but the one out in Vegas. They have really nice machines. Really.
Ben, can we get one? Ben, buy me one.
We'll see. I like the idea of the laser 3D printer as well. Have you seen the Form Labs one?
Where is it additive or subtractive?
Yeah, I think it's additive. It builds it up with that pool of liquid.
Oh, cool. Yeah. It uses
cool
like
as
an
shit.
infrared. It uses like an IR laser, right? Or not an IR laser, a UV laser, right?
Yeah, it looks really really cool in the videos. I missed out on the Kickstarter, although I don't even know if they've shipped yet, so maybe I didn't miss out too much.
It's a full spectrum laser. FSLaser.com is the company out in Vegas. They make everything in the U.S., like in Vegas, and they even have a 3D printer now. They have really good. I've only read like awesome reviews on all their stuff, and it's really inexpensive. I suggest Smart Things goes out and buys 10 lasers right now.
Yeah, give me a laser.
Need a bunch I'll just give you my credit card. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want it to bounce.
Herman,
I
you
guess
should have thrown that into your moving when they asked you to move. You should have thrown that into your negotiation and a laser.
Damn it. In fine print.
Yeah.
That should have been up top. I want a laser beam.
Well,
Then you can negotiate it into your movie.
Yeah,
exactly.
you can too, Berman.
One
Oh,
laser.
It'd be a fantastic defense add-on part for Smart Things.
Oh,
You know?
we should do that. Like one of those really high-powered lasers.
Is like a connect to find the burglar's eyes and just start shining lasers in them.
We
I
should
can start
see.
my shark rodeo then.
We should get like that RoboCop. What's the evil RoboCop one called? I can't remember the model number. It's just like Halt, and it's like gun. The dude that can't go down the stairs. Oh my god, that sucks. Anyway, we should build one of those walking robots. We should just build RoboCop. No? All right, fine.
That was awful.
I just want to build. I want a RoboCop.
I just want like a robot in the house, but not like iRobot. I feel like they just have been so stagnant. When they came out with the vacuum cleaner like a decade ago, I was like, oh, they're gonna make really cool things, and they're still making. They like came out with the Scuba a couple years later, which I don't even know if they're still making.
It's terrible.
They just keep making robots with shitty battery life and poor suction.
But they clean shit.
I'm waiting for Dyson. I can't believe Dyson hasn't gotten in on this yet.
There's another company that makes it. I actually think iRobot just bought them, actually.
Did you see that window cleaning robot?
Yeah,
The last 2 years. That one actually, it looks cool, but like, yeah, I mean, everything is about cleaning, like gutters, pool. Like, I want something that does something more.
They had that window one for. I mean, they've had that. I saw that like when I was in high school. They had it climbing the outside of a building cleaning, and they were like, "Here's another way to get rid of illegal alien jobs."
No, those guys get paid a lot. Those people who scale the window,
Exactly.
scale those skyscrapers, yeah.
So there's no reason not to make a robot that does it.
Yeah, there's no reason never to not make a robot.
That does it, yeah. Unless
Oh my
it's
God.
like changing your kid's diaper, in which case, if something goes wrong, you can have a horribly disfigured kid.
Look at the link I posted. It's a robot that cleans your grill, and the video to it is amazing.
What?
You should
From
watch
Sky Mall. That's like where you do all of your all your
That's where I do it.
purchasing.
it. Well, it's the best store.
Do they have a manscaping robot on there yet? Sky Mall seems
It's
like
very-
it might have.
Oh, God.
Berman, if you're looking for some help, I got you.
Thanks, man.
I don't think you need a grill cleaning robot. How big are these people's grills?
I know.
I
I already
think
have this as a grill.
that's really dumb, considering that the iRobot Luge, as it's called, that cleans their gutters, is if your leaves are completely dry and they have just fallen in there, that thing works. But like if you have like wet leaves built up on the bottom, that thing isn't doing anything.
Plus, you got to put it up there. Like, I want it to just be in there and like do it automatically.
Every once in a while,
Seems like a
yeah. But it can't corner. You'd have to have one in like every gutter in your house.
Lame. Let's build a RoboCop that can do it. RoboCop can clean gutters.
He would just shoot your gutters down.
Yeah, but they'd be clean.
I think a better way to clean gutters is to put something flammable in there, have it run down the line and light it.
I mean, that's actually a good idea. Remember,
Yeah.
we're trying that at your house this weekend.
I don't have gutters.
Well, we'll build gutters and then dry it.
All right.
I mean, how expensive could gutters possibly be?
Well, they got to be flame retardant up to at least like 700 degrees. 'Cause I'm putting a lot of crazy
Now
stuff in burning.
let's get wood ones.
Yeah.
Let's seal them too, so they're all chemical. And just light on fire. Holy shit! It's almost 4 already.
Yeah, it's almost 5 here. So, anyone else have any questions or things we'd like us to look into in the next week or two? I know you guys all missed the developer email going out last week, so we'll come back with a vengeance next week. All right. Well, I don't know. I'm willing to call it if no one else has anything else.
I'm good.
Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining today. We'll have a lot more to talk about next meeting, so tune in, probably at the same time. So, all right.
I like your Malcolm X classes.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.